Hello everybody, this is Little Ninja, and welcome back to another episode of Ninja's Empire, where in the last episode we built that ginormous tower to hide that iron farm, and then we didn't actually end up hiding it, we just sort of made it fit in. But in between episodes, I have been doing some caving, and I found, finally, a skeleton mob spawner, which is awesome. This area is so completely devoid of mob spawners. Like, I found a single zombie spawner under, close by, over there. But then this was the second one I found. And, yeah, those two are the only ones I found so far. And it's kind of odd because, so the project I mentioned in the previous episode, I had 4 picks like this. I took all the books that I could find and a few picks that I found in the end as well, and made, I think, 10 picks like this because I was making trips to the gold farm to repair my picks too often. So you guys can guess what project it is I'm working at. But the spawner's down here, so I'm going to set up my ender chest, and then we're going to see about getting it ready for AFK grinding, because I don't need an XP farm. All I want is just straight up bones, and I think the easiest way to do that would be to drop these guys just straight down to their death. So yeah, I'm going to, I think with that much digging, it will be worth it to set up a beacon. So I'm just going to set up a beacon down here somewhere, and that way we can insta-mine all this, and it won't take long at all. Okay, so our beacon is in. We've got haste 2. And now all I've got to do is to dig this out on 4 blocks on all sides. And then, let's see, yeah, I think that would be just dig this cobblestone away. Yep, on all sides. Yeah, okay, so dig that radius, and then down, 21 blocks? I'll go 22 just to be safe. And then we can use a hopper, like a minecart hopper collecting system or something like that at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just dig the whole hole straight to the bottom. Just like that. That took pretty much no time to dig. Partly because Instamine and partly because we have a small problem. It's only 11 blocks from there to here, so Skellies won't die when they drop, which is sort of a problem. Fortunately, 11 blocks is enough to be out of the spawner mob cap. So the spawner has a mob cap of 6 mobs or something like that. I think it's within a 9 block radius. So once the Skellies are down here, they can take their time moving across the floor to a killing chamber, because that thing will be free to spawn more mobs. If it was 9 blocks down, they would be within the mob cap, and so there could only be 6 Skellies within this entire room at once. But fortunately, it's not that way. So I guess the fastest way to kill them would probably be lava. So what I'm going to do, I think, is have a water just flowing across sideways here, and then have them go into the side of the room here and have a lava blade that kills them. I think that'll probably be the easiest thing to do. So I'll get on with it and get right back with you. Alright, so I just got back with some resources. I've got the redstone, I've got 9 buckets of lava, some signs, and I actually had to move the floor up a little bit so that I could make a ledge here so that the water would reach from one side all the way to the other. So let's see here. Signs go like this. Yeah, something like that. And then the lava would go back there. Can I reach? Yes, right there. So it should only flow 4 blocks. So it'll come right out there. Yep. And then the Skellies will flow along, and they'll be bobbing up and down in the water. And then there will be hoppers on this block. And so, I wonder, will that, you know what? Will that kill them? Because they'll be bobbing up and down in the water. But would it be faster to move it down? I'm just not too sure. If I bring it down here, I wonder if I'll be losing items. I think this will work. If it doesn't, I can always move it later. So yeah, then basically I've got to do this the whole way across and run my hopper chain into, let's see. Yeah, we can do it right here. So put the dropper in right on this block, facing upwards, and do the classic, through the solid blocks elevators like we have on the slime farm and what else? One other thing over there. Anyway, so yeah, I'll just go ahead and do the whole thing and get it set up so that I can receive items up there at the AFK room, and be right back. Alright, so everything's in place, the water's there, the lava's there, the elevator's there, the items go up through to the top, and all that's left is to take out the torches. Can anybody tell me what I was thinking? Like, seriously, what even? Who does this? Okay, so even if that's far enough away that they can still spawn, it's gonna reduce spawn rates massively. Like, what was I thinking? I'm so confused right now. oh dear. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna have to figure something else out here. Let's see, we can't bring this up anymore because this is at 10 blocks. I believe the mob cap is like 9 block radius, so if we go up above this, then it's going to reduce spawn rates. This could be a trick. What I could do is just move the whole thing like way back further, so like basically, you know, put signs and then another row of water going back even further. I suppose that could work. That's annoying. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to kill them as fast. Like if we AFK here, it won't make a difference if we run them through a mob evader. Yeah, I suppose that's what we'll do. So I've got to get rid of the lava, and I've got to dig out this channel, move the signs down so that the water stops at the edge, and then, let's see, have them go, like funnel them into a mob evader, take them way up, and probably what I'll do is drop them down onto a hopper and just have it run back into here, and have them die by fall damage. Have them fall by die damage. Yep, that's what I meant to say. Okay, so I've got to do a little bit of fixing up here, and I'll be right back. So that was actually a pretty simple fix. This is the same height it was before, and with a single source block here in the corner, it reaches the entire room, even the corners. If we take off our depth strider boots, we'll move a lot faster. So like all the way up in the corner, and yeah, it just pushes me right along. And because we don't have to have hoppers under the water anymore, it can go down another block here. And then it'll go in here, and our dropper for the item elevator is right behind this block. So we can have, that means we can have the drop chute be right here and run in that way into the item elevator, which means that our mob evader can run right up here, go over 2 blocks, and then back down on the other side of these blocks, and they'll land on a hopper and die. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and get the entire elevator, or the mob evader, up and running, and be right back. Okay, it's functional, it's running, and the first Skelly just went in there. I knocked out a couple of the torches. I still need to knock out some more, but oh, there's his bone. So that's the drop chute right there, and it just falls down. There goes another one, and any second now. Yep, we're getting more items. Awesome. So this thing's working already. Now I've got to build a storage room. So yeah, the AFK room can be right here. It's plenty close enough, and then we can just do like a bank of chests too, for all that stuff to go in. So I've got to clear out a little space, which is obviously super easy. We've got Instamine, and I've got to knock out the rest of the torches in there, and then I've got to build a bank of chests and put some hoppers behind them. Alright, so I've got the storage in, and the mob evader's working, and we are getting drops. I think I may have gone just a little overkill with the storage. I mean, I don't know, who am I to judge? Anyway, so I'm just going to do a little bit of decorating, make a tiny little room. It doesn't need to be anything fancy or big, you know, basically just enough to drop down here AFK and then get our stuff out of the chests and go. So yeah, I'm just going to do the whole thing. It's not going to be much, probably something like, let's see, maybe just solid log like that on the walls. Yeah, something dark. And the other thing is, over here, there's a mine shaft. So I'm going to go find some cobwebs and use those, make it look sort of like a really dingy underground thing, but then still have the grass. I think it could look cool. I'll play around and try a few different things and then show you what I come up with. Okay, so this is the room entirely done. And in fact, the dark oak like that, you could almost mistake for mud. Yeah, it looks sort of like the you know, forgotten bottom of an old dried up well or something, if it weren't for the chests. So yeah, this thing is working absolutely marvelously, and I think what I'm going to do is test it out and do an overnight AFK session and just see how many drops we can get out of this thing in, let's see, about 7 hours. Alright, so I AFK'd for about 8 hours, and I came back, and this chest was only like half full. Which is, I mean, that's quite a few drops, but still not very much for 8 hours of AFKing. I was like, what in the world could be wrong? I started checking the farm again, and I realized something. I made a huge derp. So the mob evader is within 9 blocks of the spawner, which means that as the skellies are traveling up the mob evader, they're filling up the mob spawner mob cap, which means that, I mean, it drastically reduced the rates. So I moved the mob evader back, and let's see here. I built this little thing. So, I mean, it's nothing pretty, it's just functional, purely functional. So this is where the item elevator is, and then here is where the mobs drop down. So if we flick this switch here, there's a stair block. You can just so see that comes out there, and the mobs will fall here, and you can hit them, and you can kill them with looting, one hit kill. And then, so like, oh, I guess that guy died straight away. Anyway, and then when the drops will all stay in that hole sitting on the stair, and then you just flick the switch again and they drop down and come up the item elevator, as you can see. So yeah, but I think that's enough for this farm. I want to move on to the next project. So, which is, if you haven't noticed, ooh, I love that tower. It looks so cool when it's just coming out of the mist like that. We are almost out of fireworks, and so I want a gunpowder farm. Now, I'm going to build a regular mob farm. Thing is, we already have a farm for bones, and we have all the zombie flesh we could ever want from the gold farm in the nether. So, ideally, I want a mob farm that can spawn only creepers and spiders. And there is actually a way to do that. I just discovered it in one of Iskal's videos. I think the design is originally a Nembomb design. I could be wrong, but Iskal built it on his Hermitcraft 5 series, and so yeah, I think the best way to show you guys would just be to build it myself. So I'm going to build it. Let's see, I want to make a nice big tower. It's going to be sort of sinister looking and fairly large and round, and I'm going to learn from my mistakes in that tower and make the base sufficiently big enough that I can make it look nice. And it's probably going to go back in here somewhere. So I'm going to do a little measuring and figure out where it fits, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this circle right here is the smallest that the tower can be, which means that it's the size that the tower is going to be all the way at the top. The base I want to be probably 5 blocks wider all the way around, which means this circle is 23 blocks across, so the base should be around 33 blocks across. So yeah, there's not enough space to fit in it. I mean, like, you could maybe squeeze it in here, like it would be hard up against that tower and the barn. It wouldn't look good, basically. So what I'm going to have to do is move this wall back. And I wanted the entire compound to be within the range of these 2 beacon sets, but it will be fine because this beacon reaches to that wall over there. And so if I bring that wall like straight across and then just have a sharper corner and then come this way, it'll be a little less organic shape, but it won't matter. We'll have the tower in that corner, probably get rid of this pond, and it'll fit nicely in this area. Okay, so I've been working a bit on the layout. This circle here is the size of the base of the tower. So yeah, it's pretty big. Obviously wouldn't have fit in there at all. Let's see here. The wall, I took down the old one and laid out approximately where the new one goes. So I think I'm going to have to push the wall even further out, make that into a fairly sharp corner, and then move the circle, or move the base of the tower in that direction, so that we have, I want enough of space between these 2 towers so they don't look like, you know, an extension of each other. And then I want about the same amount of space between the wall there, and then doesn't have to be very much space between there. So yeah, I think that'll just so work. I also have to do some terraforming. On the outside of the old wall, there was this cave here and this big hill, so I'm going to have to take that down. And probably what I'll do is just dig it down to that level right there, make it all flat. And then, so like basically, I want this tower not to be too tall, probably a little taller than that one, but definitely not as tall as that one. And then if I decide the spawning platforms, if I don't have enough platforms in it, I will dig down and make them lower. So let's see here. Yeah, I think you can guess what I'm going to be building it out of. I have been growing a big patch of nether wart out there, and harvesting them with fortune axe, which by the way works like crazy. So yeah, I'm going to use a bunch of nether brick and some red nether brick and maybe a few nether fence posts, which I have to do a bunch of resource gathering as well, so I better hop to it. So at some point in time, apparently I decided to empty my inventory of netherrack when I was coming back from the nether, and I smelted up a bunch of bricks. But yeah, that's not going to be nearly enough. I've been using those mostly to craft the red nether brick, which by the way I think just has a fantastic color. Like, I love that deep red color. And yeah, so I don't have nearly enough nether wart. I set up a temporary nether wart farm over here. What in the world? Where'd you come from? Anyway, distractions aside, I set up another temporary nether wart farm over here because yeah, I'm gonna need just vast quantities of this stuff if I want to use any significant amount of red nether brick in my build. And I know at one point I had said that we weren't going to build another wart farm, but that was when I was thinking about potions, and I had forgotten that nether wart can be used in blocks as well. So yeah, at some point we definitely have to build a farm like this, but basically you just stand on the half slab and you can go along and mine all of them like that, and then you come to the end and get up here, and then you walk along and replant. Pretty simple. But yeah, very temporary. So now I've got to wait for those to grow. I've also got to go into the nether and get a whole bunch of nether brick and start building this thing skyward. So I just came to this nether fortress to mine a bunch of nether brick, and I killed, let's see, about 8 wither skeletons, and I got 4 skulls. I kid you not. Like, this is all the coal I got from those guys, and I got 4 skulls. I am the world's luckiest Minecraft player right now. Literally. Like statistically, I could kill, let's see, what is it? I think it's 3% chance. So like statistically speaking, I could kill 100, 4 skulls, 120 withers, or wither skeletons without getting a skull now. So yeah, we're gonna have to do a wither fight at some point. But I'm going to probably just like mine down a couple of these pillars, this one and that one over there, and then get back with you. Alright, so I'm back from the nether and I started to work on the tower, and doesn't it just look amazing? Like, oh, it's so cool with the nether brick and a little diving board up there for the creepers. I'm kidding. So this is 2 out of 3 sections, and that up there I was measuring out for where the spawning platforms are going to go. So the spawning platforms are this shape right here. So basically the way it works is so there's dispenser and then observer, dispenser, space observer, etc. So this dispenser fires and actually gets activated from the top. So the dispenser fires, bucket of water comes out and goes right to the edge of the platform all the way around. And so, you know, as the dispenser at the top fires, it activates the observer and it travels down the chain like that. Whoops. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, so this platform has 106 spawning spaces, and there are 17 platforms up to that top area. And the reason I'm building them now is because that way I want to make the top as small as possible, and so I'm going to build the platforms up, and then I can tell exactly how big the top needs to be. So like, there's going to be spiders coming down through here, so the top can be no closer than this line here, but it needs to be a circle. Anyway, I'll get that figured out once I get up there. I'm going to go ahead and put in all the spawning platforms first. So the spawning platforms are in place, and there is 1,802 spawning spaces in this farm, and we can extend it downwards anytime we want. So I'm going around putting the very last circle in, and I'll just build it up to the top level and put the roof on straight away. The roof will probably be stone brick. I think that looks good, especially after I saw in here the way the light gray stone goes with the red nether brick. I think that looks really good, that contrast. So yeah, probably the new roof will be stone brick, unless I have some groundbreaking idea between now and when I put the roof on. And I've reached the top. I'm just about ready to start on the roof. So this is the very top platform of the farm. It's not actually a spawning platform, it's the ceiling of the farm basically. So there will be a redstone torch tower coming up probably here in one of these corners, and then a redstone signal comes across and soft powers this block, and the observer's under there. If you break it, oh, that's cool, you can hear the dispensers going off down through. So yeah, basically we just have to soft power this block, and that should update the observer and trigger the farm. So yeah, I've got to fill this in at this level, and then I want to do the roof, so like bring a crosswork of beams out like this, and I want it to be just a little bit bigger than that bottom circle down there. So like here would be where the beam ends, and then have like an upside down stair here, which I don't have on me, and then the roof would start like maybe 2 blocks out from the bottom circle and be that big the whole way around, and then have like a beam there, beam here, and possibly one coming out at a diagonal from the corner, something like this. So like that. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would look. I'll have to play around with it some, but unfortunately that is all going to have to wait for later, because I am all out of time for this episode. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one.